The desperation of life's first breath sets the rhythm of existence into motion. As we attempt to remember our earliest beginnings, the blur of infant oblivion slowly turns to memories of our surrounds, familiar voices, faces, and places. But think about it. While you were oblivious to your reality in those earliest days, was your reality oblivious to you? Most of us would agree no. At least to some extent, the feelings, thoughts, and behaviors that we experience today are a result of the earliest days, when we were yet oblivious. Yet while we would agree that our beginning is a vital moment in our existence, we have often elevated it to a position of overstated power. We think that a good start leads to a probable good ending, and a bad beginning to a bad ending. But much can happen between the beginning and the end, and what happens after the beginning is more telling than the beginning itself.
iThemba Trust derives its name from the Xhosa word hope, and that's what this is all about. It's rebuilding lives that might not have had opportunities before, molding, shaping lives, giving them a hope and a future of prosperity and something they might never have had despite their unfortunate beginnings.
The founders of iThemba take great delight in recounting two of its very own living stories as it introduces Nolinki Blandile and Pololo Vusani, who have both been touched by the iThemba dream. 7-year-old Nolinki Blandile was born to farm laborers living in trying economic conditions on a farm in South Africa. Her mother burdened by an alcohol addiction. Some would say a beginning like hers condemns a person to an endless cycle of poverty and addiction and offers little hope for a future of prosperity and fulfillment. Having come from this background, Nolinki would normally be sent to a public school far from her home, where her personal values and worldview would be shaped by her peers, and her upbringing would be left to a society too busy to care. This has been the story of countless young people in Africa. Pololo Vusani, on the other hand, now 15 years old, began her life in a coastal camp on a game farm in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. She too would have been sent to the nearest urban town to receive an education in a public system unable to provide individual attention to its learners. Pololo's mother, a domestic worker, desired better for her daughter. But because of very difficult economic circumstances, she was unable to make it happen by her own means. Nolinki's story is one different to most of her peers. Her situation changed when her God-given intelligence and curiosity led her to sit at the steps of a nearby farmhouse and listen in as the farmers' children received homeschooling. Her tenacity and willingness to progress beyond her inherited circumstances was evidence of the treasure that lay buried in her life. And before long, Nolinki was brought to Orange Grove, where she became a member of the Plummies Preschool, the junior school operated by the iThemba Trust. The maintenance of iThemba's school and community is funded by the generous sponsorship of its donors. Without the support of Jeff and Laurie Holmes, Pololo's dreams to fulfill her potential could have died with her. Their sponsorship has made it possible for her to embark on a road of blessing and inheritance. 2 years ago, Nolinki was unable to speak any English. Today, she can speak, read, and write English fluently, and teaches her family English on her regular home visits. The gentle and encouraging environment on Orange Grove has brought Nolinki to a place in herself where she is able to show a new love and affection which was previously buried under the rubble of hardship. She has now grown wonderfully in confidence and displays promising talent in the various sporting activities at Plumline School. Pololo has blossomed into a gracious and godly young woman. She is hungry to know God intimately and possesses a depth of creative talent. On arriving at Orange Grove, Pololo had never heard of Jesus Christ, and much less experienced him. Today she loves him and knows him personally, even renouncing the ancestral worship in her culture. The team at iThemba counts it a great privilege to teach children about God's love, His wonderful dreams for their lives, and His power to bring them to pass.
Yeah, we're very proud of Pololo and the direction that her life has taken, and we often discuss with each other how we look forward to seeing where her life takes her.
When Pololo's sponsors, Jeff and Laurie Holmes, visited Orange Grove in September 2009, their first-time face-to-face meeting with Pololo can be described as nothing short of profound. Their support of Pololo began as a financial commitment, to back her through her schooling career, but has grown into a personal relationship of trust, love, and blessing. Both Nolinki and Pololo began life in difficult circumstances, but they have both changed tack, and with the partnership of iThemba, are enjoying developing their gifts, talents, and strengths, which will allow them to live the lives they are destined to live for the improvement of South Africa. In both cases, the commitment of the sponsors and donors has been an immeasurable blessing. The relationships that have developed between the sponsors and their children will likely result in the long-term financial support required by these learners to complete their schooling careers, and iThemba's trustees are humbled and immensely grateful for their support.
It's really important that we find sponsors who would really take a claim into the vision, would become partners of the vision, meaning a sustainable partnership that would help the child to start an education here and complete it. So we don't want a child beginning with something and we're really starting to build and shape their lives, and then the sponsorship falls away. I would hate to see any child having to leave once they've started. So good sustainable sponsorship is what we're looking for, partnering with people on a long-term basis.
This vision has resulted in the iThemba trustees' mission to raise a flow of financial sponsorship that will sustain the iThemba operation over the long term. St. Irenaeus of Lyons said, "The glory of God is man fully alive." Those serving the iThemba dream are excited about bringing God glory by building young lives to be all that they were created to be. Thank you for hearing our story, and we invite you to be a part of the stories we will one day tell.